is here. The champ 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 is here.
Welcome to another episode of State Champions Podcast. On State Champions Podcast, we discuss people, politics, community, and culture. What would a podcast be with two great friends without us discussing sports? I'm your co-captain, Raphael Peterson. To my left and to your right is co-captain George T. Ward. Tonight, I'm not so sure we're going to discuss I guess we're going to discuss something sports-related because we got a coach's corner, parlay picks of the week. Yeah. But, of course, we definitely got to talk about the passing of Congresswoman Carolyn Cheech Kilpatrick, but we'll get to that as well. G, how you doing tonight, boy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you? Fall time on the calendar, but great day today. Beautiful outside. A little brisk, but my favorite time of the year, so it's a wonderful day. Just glad to be here again, back in the basement with a hell of a topic.
Oh, the hell of a topic that you're speaking of. The Great Divide.
Yeah.
Between men, women, old and young.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Christian, Muslim.
Oh, you name it.
Everything.
It's all the way in there. Yeah. We're talking about a lot of different folk that's dealing with that. So, G, tonight, before we get started, just let me ask you this, because the season is upon us. Just if you can take a dive into that a little bit.
Okay.
And let me know how you see, what you think is going to happen this year in the PSL and how everything is going to work out.
Well, the PSL, it's kind of crazy having a conversation today at the cross country meet. Mm-hmm. This will be top to bottom. Mm-hmm. This will be one of the best years we've had in a while. You got a lot of talent in the city right now. You got some good teams going, and just judging by the summer, by the fall, it's going to be some great basketball. And we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to it. And obviously, we'll be right in the thick of everything.
Okay. So who are some of the top teams around the state?
Top teams around the state, obviously, you got to, look up there at Muskegon, Keith Guy. Obviously going to have those guys, perennial state championship contender, mm-hmm. the defending state championship Division I, mm-hmm. East Lansing. They're definitely going to be probably going into the season, number one ranked team in the state of Michigan. Mm-hmm. You look at some of the other divisions, Warren, Lincoln, Ferndale. Then you come back home towards this side of the state. You're probably looking at, obviously, the guys over on Grand River and Green and White. They'll be pretty good as well.
Okay.
So, and the Catholic League, I think they're down a little bit. You got some coaching moves, things of that nature. So, it's going to be wide open. It's going to be wide open. Then, just to mention, I know we're going to do a whole tip-off show before the season gets started, but I tell you that Division IV, man, we could legitimately have from the PSL and at least this side of the state, you could have 2 to 3 champions if things kind of go our way, because Frederick Douglass in Division IV, they'll be vying for a championship, and Detroit Central in Division III is really good too.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen either one of those teams. Central, and you said Douglass?
Yep, Frederick Douglass.
Okay,
yep.
Okay. Yep. So Pierre Brooks has putting something back together, huh?
Got a wonderful nucleus, man. And I told P, I guess last week he and I talked about it. I think when you look at his last year's team, probably his best coaching job.
Okay.
Probably his best coaching job. He's really got those guys playing together, playing smart, running some good things, man, defending pretty well. And they were young. So they got everybody coming back. And the younger son, Josh,
okay,
is about 6'6", 6'7".
Okay.
Shoots the skin off this thing.
Okay.
I think Josh will be a sophomore this year. So looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to great competition. I think Tuesday and Fridays will look different this year than it has over the few past years, because you won't have as many blowouts. You're going to have some competitive games. And Tuesday night, you ain't got to wait on paper no more for Wednesday. But Tuesday night and Friday nights, you're going to look online and see some things on Twitter, and you're going to be surprised, because there's going to be some teams getting beat that traditionally wouldn't.
Okay, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So, G, I definitely want to talk about this really quick. You know, we're gonna do. You want to do Coach's Corner? You ready for your Coach's Corner?
Ready for Coach's Corner.
Ready for
Always
Coach's?
ready for
You
Coach's
always
Corner.
ready for
I'm a
Coach's
coach.
Corner?
Yeah, I'm in the
Let's-
corner.
So, let's talk about. We have to talk about another week in the NFL, and
Ooh.
let's talk about a little bit about the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Whoa.
Up next, we're going to have the Coach's Corner by none other than your guy.
Get ready for Coach's Corner. A one-time Michigan Coach of the Year, George T. Ward, gives his coaching perspective. Let's get to it.
All right, G, make sure everybody get in the comments. Make sure you got something to say. Call in 313-458-4445.
That's right.
Get in the chat box. You got something to say to G. You want something, know something about these parlay picks of the week.
Yeah.
You know how it go. But G, let's get right to this really quick.
Yep.
We're in the Tigers was eliminated.
Yep.
They did a great job, got eliminated.
Yep.
But right now, who do you think will win the World Series? And what two teams do you think are the best two teams that's going to win it?
I think you're looking at, you're probably looking at a situation where the Dodgers, they're definitely going to be there.
Okay. No, for sure.
They're pitching, and they got some guys, people have been complaining somewhat, man, they cheated. They got some fresh arms.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pitching very well, and they're hitting this baseball. So I think they'll be the representatives from the National League. But I tell you what, I know the Mariners jumped out 2-0.
Okay.
They jumped out 2-0 on the road, which really suggests that the series is over.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't think last night was just an anomaly. I don't think it was just a surprise thing when the Blue Jays came and hit that baseball. I believe. I don't think it's going to go 6. I don't think they're going to do like the Bulls did the Knicks years ago. But I believe we're going to go to a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I loved his father when his father played. I think Vlad and the Blue Jays, I think you're looking at a situation where you're looking at the West Coast of the United States, East Coast, Canada will meet in the World Series. Toronto Blue Jays versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think those Blue Jays may get it done.
Okay. So what did you see this week in the NFL? Some teams that everybody were riding high on, of course, was the Lions, and they lost. And you had a couple of other teams that faltered. You had the Eagles,
yes,
and Buffalo, who everybody was talking about could get there, and they lost this week. So what do you think? Do you think that the Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens, those two teams, could they be done?
I think it's obviously it's a long season, 17 games, but I will tell you this, sometimes, and I think because of SportsCenter, ESPN, and all these shows every day, and we ranking teams every week now in the NFL for whatever reason, but I do believe that Buffalo, they're going to have some problems. They're going to struggle a little bit. Okay. I think they're going to come back and be obviously a formidable opponent in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But what I will tell you is, for me, as I look at Philadelphia, I think they have to get more committed to the run game. I just think they got to get more committed to the run game. And, they've fallen in love with the tush push and all of that kind of stuff. I think defensively they are not hitting the way that I've seen them hit in the past as well. So those are some of the things that really, really are alarming to me as I watch both of those teams, because each of them have been considered favorites from each of their divisions to possibly go to the Super Bowl. So I think for me, I think Buffalo will be fine. I do. I think Buffalo will be fine. I don't know if their defense is as good as it needs to be, even though they made a couple acquisitions. They got Sosa on the other side, but I truly believe that Buffalo will be okay. But, I think it's going to be tough for them in the AFC. I just believe, for me, as I'm watching it, I think Kansas City is kind of just looming around and lurking around, man. So it's gonna be a good one.
Okay. So what do you think about the Lions? They went down to KC and they were beat. We talked about this on the Parlay Pete segment.
Sure did.
And I talked about the -2. I knew that they were setting the game up. So
Sure did.
where do you see the Lions at right now? Or is this just a bump in the road to their mission?
Bump in the road. Lions will end up 14-3 or 13-4. No doubt about it. Minimally, they'll win 13 games. It's just what it is. So looking forward to that.
All right. Oh, shoot. Man, we got a call. It ain't even time for a call, but we got somebody calling in. This is about to be funny. Hold on. All right, you on State Champions Podcast. Who we're talking to?
This the real Parlay King.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I knew it.
The real Parlay King. So Parlay King. So we're just going to call him the Parlay King. He's live on air. Can you give us a parlay for this weekend or maybe tonight's game? Whatever you think is that you have in your fold for somebody to win the parlay. And if yours outdo Parlay Pete's, we might have you on as a guest every single week. We have to let the board know, but we'll see what we can do.
The question, has you put your parlay in yet?
Not yet. I haven't. I'm about to put mine in 1 second. You called in and interrupted, so I was like, well, let's get the caller on since he was on air.
Well, Mr. Caller, what's your lock of the week, man? Since you calling in, you've done a good job, so at least you say, sir. So, hey, what's your lock of the week, Sulo?
My lock of the week?
Yeah. I'm writing them down now.
Broncos -7.
Broncos
Ooh.
-7.
Okay.
And what else? So that's one, because how many teams is this parlay?
I'm taking the Chargers -1.5.
Chargers. Okay.
Ooh, -1.5.
Okay. All right.
Commanders -1.5.
Okay. The Commanders. Okay. Washington.
And I'm looking at the Lions under, but I ain't for sure about that just yet.
Okay. So we got your 3-team parlay.
Yeah.
And you are known as the Parlay King.
Yeah,
okay?
Parlay King.
He said
he might have to get a segment. Or
That's what
something.
I'm saying. He's the Parlay King. We're gonna hold him to this.
What about tonight's game?
I want to take the points. To be honest, I think Flacco's gonna come off on it.
What is
like
Cincinnati get? What's Cincinnati getting tonight?
5.5. Take them up to +7. You ain't gotta watch it.
Yeah. +5.5. Yep, that is correct. And the OU is 45.
They must be playing in Cincy.
They're playing in Cincy.
Yeah.
So, all right, Parlay King, we appreciate you calling in. Just stay tuned because up next will be Parlay Pete's Picks of the Week. Super locks. All right, peace.
Pittsburgh gonna cover that tonight.
You think Pittsburgh gonna cover that?
Watch what I tell you.
So now listen up. All right. So just a bump in the road for the Lions.
Yep.
And now the segment I think everybody's been waiting for. None other than Parlay Pete's of the Picks of the Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the absolute best unknown handicapper in the country, Parlay Pete. With Parlay Pete's Pick of the Week.
All right, Parlay Pete Picks of the Week. I'm back. We had to make a little adjustment to the camera. Camera was a little off. We didn't get no up close shot of Coach George T. Ward. So I'm going to get right to my Parlay Picks of the Week tonight. Thursday night game, always remember, anytime it's a division game. Anytime there's a division game, take the team that's getting the points. The over and under is 45.5.
Going under.
It's going under, and you take Cincinnati with the point.
Whoa.
That is your first parlay pick of the week. I'm writing this down so we'll know.
Getting your weekend started.
You get that's a 2-team parlay.
Okay, two-teamer.
2-team parlay. Let me see something.
How'd you do last week, man? If people took your parlay,
Nope,
how did they do?
They lost one. One of the teams lost. I took the over and under the Dallas game. I said it would go under, but actually it went over.
All the way over.
But
Sure did.
the other ones actually covered easy. Yep. So let's talk about this, and I have a couple more.
That's why I didn't put that one on.
Yeah. That's why you ain't put it in. But You know how it goes. You can't win them all. But this week, Parlay Pete is back.
Yeah.
So don't worry. We back, baby. So listen, we're going to look at the Rams at the Jaguars. It's -3. I think the caller may be on to something. Parlay King, I'm not going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the over in that one. The over and under in the Rams game is 44.5.
Oh,
Take it to go over. I think that the quarterback for Jacksonville, he will come back and play a lot better this game. And I would take that game to go over. Actually, yep, I'm going to take that one to go over. It went from 47.5 to 44.5. I'm taking that one to go over. And you have none other than the Kansas City Chiefs. You take the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Kansas City seems to be getting back in their stride, but we're going to put them on the money line because this is a division game. Yes. And the Raiders can't continue to play that bad. But Geno Smith, the quarterback, a lot of pundits are saying, how come he's throwing so many interceptions? I think because he's out there in Las Vegas, he's gambling. So that's what he's doing. So there we go to, let me see another one. We're talking about, remember, it's a lot of games on the schedule, but some games you have to stay away from. Stay away from the Dolphins and the Browns, two bum teams. They're not going to play well. So the Patriots at the Titans.
That could be a tricky game.
It's not going to be tricky.
Patriots going to kill them.
The Patriots, I'll just put the Patriots, the E&E, on the money line. And you should be in great shape on that one. Yeah. And you want another game that was going to be great. You can go to New Orleans Saints and Chicago. I'm just going right down the list. 46.5 went from 44.5 to 46.5. It is going to be real close.
Yeah. It's
going to be really close to this 46.5. I'm going to take this one to go under. Take this game to go under.
Is that -7.5? What is that?
It's
4.5 now?
It's at 4.5 now. So that's what we're going to go with. So you have over in, you got it? The Rams and the Jags, KC money line, New England money line, and take the under in the Chi-Town New Orleans game. You got it? That's Parlay Picks of the Week. Make sure you get that in. And when you win some, send me some. Send us some to the podcast so we can get going. Now, listen, I want to do this because I think this is part of one of the issues. I want to switch gears really, really quick, G. And we always have this problem with, well, I have it personally, with media. And media, one of our champions passed away on October 7th. 80 years old. I'm calling her the great Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick. G, it didn't make a difference. I never called her Congresswoman. I always called her mom. Yep. Whenever I would see her, this is just a little story. When I would see her on LaSalle Boulevard at her home, I would go in. And one thing that I appreciated with Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick was one thing that it didn't make a difference when I saw her. Yep. The number one thing she would always say is, Rav, how's your mom? Yeah. And how are the kids?
How are the kids?
It was always that she was one of these people that if you didn't meet her, you missed a treat if you would have met Miss Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick. And she passed away. So I had an issue with the media here in Detroit.
Oh, man.
And I looked, and you had, I'm talking about 15-second spots, and they just mentioned that the Congresswoman passed away.
Yep.
And so then I sat and I reflected, and I thought about it. Mm-hmm. It's no sense of me getting upset with a media that I want to give us our credit, and they won't.
Of course not.
Why would I expect them to do something for this woman, this person of this stature from our side? So I just think, G, for us as a group of people, should be another great movement for our young people.
Indeed.
And our old people, we have to, I really believe we have to start getting back to our own journalism, creating our own news network.
Yeah.
So we have great content and narration that comes out about our champions. And when you don't do that, I was like, wow. So in my mind, I said, well, we have to say something. We have to do something and talk about Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick. Go ahead, G. I know you have a few words about
Rap,
it.
I mean, obviously, you know, the connection is what it is. We obviously what she is to us, she was family to us. So we got a chance to know her and meet her on a different level. But I believe on October 22nd, the day of her homegoing services, I just think it would be proper for some type of way, this city, our school district, in some type of way to honor this legend. And you know what's funny is you listen to the media as you talked about the fact that we got to call her. The fact that she was almost minimized, and people were saying, "Well, you know, she was Kwame Kilpatrick's mom," and then they went into what Kwame had done.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so what we do as Black people.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy because this is really the perfect segue. Rap was really creative on this, and y'all didn't realize what he did. This is the perfect segue for us to talk about our topic tonight, but we won't get into it yet. But what they did was really talk about the problems that her son had, or whatever the case may be.
Yes, sir.
Really minimize her greatness and all the things that she did.
Yes.
I'm talking about you. When you said champion,
yes,
this woman was a champion for our city, for our community, and allowed. So
Michigan.
For this state, for the Midwest, for this country, you know, we just had a woman run for president.
Yes.
And had it not been for women like Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick, had it not been for women like that,
absolutely,
Kamala Harris wouldn't have been able to do what she
There
did.
you go. Yes, sir.
So I think it's amazing as we look at this thing overall, for this woman to live how she lived with the dignity, the grace, the beauty, the elegance,
Yes,
the
sir.
intellect, the diligence that she possessed, for us to allow them to dictate to us how she's perceived, we got to do a better job.
And yeah, absolutely, G. You said it perfectly, and that's why I said we had to say something about the Congresswoman. But I definitely want to do a little quick tribute to her, because she is truly a champion.
The champ is here.
A real champ.
The champ is here. 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 The champ is here.
Wow, man, G. The champ is here is absolutely fitting.
No doubt.
And I want to add this last piece. When I think about moms, is when I would go into the house on the sale, as I said, she was just that person you looked at and was like, this lady is everything.
Regal.
Listen, everything.
Regal, royalty.
That's what I'm talking about, royalty, G. So, and I played a little basketball in my day, and I hung out with some giants on the court.
No doubt.
But if you did not get a chance to meet this lady, she was a true giant of the community. Man, I appreciate everybody getting in the chat. Make sure you keep going.
Double A Dub. I saw you, baby. Double A Dub.
And it's going down. So, G, let's spin it because you said it. We're going right now into the topic.
Yep.
The topic of tonight. G wanted to have this conversation.
Yep.
The Great Divide. And if you saw the flyer on Facebook, social media somewhere, the Great Divide,
man,
one of the questions, it was, wasn't a question, it was verses.
Yeah.
Like they do with the rap verses.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I like
saying?
that. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? You had different battles.
Mhm.
But the one, G, that you and I wanted to talk about specifically, and we have a couple of them we're going to keep
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through.
But
But
main one.
the main was
Mm.
man versus woman.
Yes, sir.
And so I don't, this great divide, what is causing the great divide? Is it money?
Whoa.
Is it power? Is it
They tie in.
just ego?
Uh-oh.
Or is it an agenda? And G, I know you're going to expound on that. And so, G, what's your perspective on the great divide between male and female, especially in our community, but you can expand and keep on going all the way through?
Listen, check us out on YouTube. Look at us, obviously Facebook Live. You better understand something though, and we got to really dive into this thing. We on Instagram, but we want you to call us tonight, 313-458-4445. We don't want to talk at you. We don't want to talk to you. We need to have a real conversation, and it needs to be unified. And when I say unified, we just need to be coming up with some common goals. So I don't care your position, whatever, but we need to have some common goals. Well, for me, Ralph, when you look at it, you know, as we've moved forward and social media has allowed people to have a lot of conversation. Social media has allowed people to have platforms and discuss some things. And the more and more I watch it and I view some things, and obviously we're on social media, but I listen to women, you know, and I get bashed by men.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the men, you know, they're blaming women for things. And then on the flip side of that, I'm looking at the women blame men for things. And I'm looking at everybody blame everybody without any accountability. And at the end of, after it's all said and done, for me, we aren't coming together and saying what we need to do. And I think, you know, I posed a question earlier when I posted on Facebook again and Instagram. I said, is it that the men have become too selfish?
Okay.
Is it that some of these guys have become too sassy? Is it that these guys have become so enabled, you know, they become violent? Whatever the case may be, you know, something has to be done. But I asked the question and nobody responded. And it's crazy because very few times do I post something and people don't respond.
Okay.
And as profound as this topic is, what I felt, and it was hurtful to me, is that we would not get as much participation as we needed.
Yes. You said it. You called it, brother.
For me, when I look at it and I ask the question, have our women become too powerful? Have they become too focused on themselves? Have they said, you know what? I can do what I need to do. And the last thing I will say, and this is something that we have to talk about, ladies, is perceived power. Rav used the term power, and I want to talk about perceived power. Has that damaged us as well? Because we have now provided our community with a weaker man. That is no doubt. As we look at our children, you can see the man. I tell people all the time, if you want to see the man in any community, you just look at a child.
Yes, sir.
So for me, I think a lot of men have kind of said, well, you know what, I'm going to let her have it. And this perceived power that a lot of our queens have been given through whatever avenue, whatever, financially, educationally, professionally, doesn't matter, has the man becoming weak. What has really damaged us the most, and what can we do? And are we willing to do something about it, or will we continue to move while we're moving?
Well, at this point, there's so much damage that's been done. The harm has been committed.
Yep.
But not only that, it was what I call it infused harm. Now, some rightfully so from the male perspective, what has happened to the women and the women, I mean, the women that we've been around and throughout the community.
Mhm.
Of course, those things have happened, but also, see, we may have been able to work those things out
Yes.
if we sat down to your pony and talked those things out.
Yeah.
But then when you get that person in your ear,
On your shoulder.
kind of like, I don't know, and we have a audience that's a little bit older. Some of you kids that been
Cartoon.
listening, yeah, cartoon. But we had Flintstones,
Flintstone.
and on the shoulder of Fred and them we had the Great Gazoo. I don't know if y'all remember the Great
Man.
Gazoo. And the Great Gazoo, it was a bad one and it was a good one. And so the Great Gazoo in the woman's ear in our community
Yes.
has been government.
No doubt.
And so it actually made the great divide even greater. And then the power, the perceived power,
Mhm.
the executive positions. So then the woman in our community said, we don't need any men no longer. So then you had that liberal movement
Wow.
that changes the whole landscape of everything
Wow.
for us as a community. And if you think about it, that's part of the entire world, especially in the United States. So that great divide has been pushed and widened
Yes.
because of a number of factors. But the question, G, is how do we change it?
That's it.
How do we change it? If anybody comment wise, tell us, how do you do it?
Well, it's crazy you said that. Sincere, I want y'all to, if you don't want to call in, AA-Dub-D, I saw y'all posted something, call in or put something in this thread and let's talk about this. Number one, Raph, you can't have any unity if roles aren't defined.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it's crazy. I was talking to one of my players yesterday at great length, and we talked about the fact that I said, man, my best friend, he was our leading scorer, et cetera, and D, what he did, Mike, and all of this kind of stuff. And I had to figure it out. How was I going to benefit the program? So you had to be selfless in your thinking. Well, everybody's not willing to do that, Dooley. So as we look at our people, you come to the table and say, you know what, we got to have a unified front. Well, at some point, there's going to be some leaders or a leader at the table. Well, who's willing to say that's the leader? There's too many people that are going to be sitting there and say, well, no, he shouldn't be the leader, or I'm not going to listen to somebody. And I think when you hear about perceived power, I think about when we look at our males, because some of them aren't men yet, even though they're adult aged, I look at it and I say, man, we have to do a better job, and somebody's got to be willing to take a sacrifice. And that's one of the questions that I would have, Raph. You talk about unity, you're right. But when you talk about unity, somebody has to be willing to sacrifice something. My question would be, who would have to make the greatest sacrifice? And I want you to tell me because you're a research guy.
Well, based upon how things are in the current day, it's no two ways about it.
Uh-oh.
The female would have to make the greatest sacrifice.
No doubt.
Because right now, well, in the past 20 years, she has been put in leadership positions that perceive power, and that was strategically designed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she has to change because she is the one that has controlled the narrative in most cases about the dad to the children. So if she said something that was harming, she has to go back on that. And also both parties would need to see a therapist because
no doubt
it's so much harm that's been done and it's so much damage that she would be the person, the women of the community would have to give up the most because they have been given the most. Oh,
there you go.
They've earned a lot of it. Let's be clear.
Oh, ain't nobody they've earned it.
They've earned it, and they've been given some things. So then now, how do you say, I want to reach across the aisle, some diplomacy, and say, brother, I apologize to you for what I've said and what I've done. And based upon, and this is just a whole nother animal, based upon how we were doing things historically in the past, in the 50s and the 60s when we were great.
Uh-oh.
The black male led. He was the leader. That's why our households and our communities were in the position that they were, because
No doubt.
we stood up and we stood out. But that changed in the late 70s, and that everything kicked in. Actually, not the late 70s. It changed with the Civil Rights Act. And I think this probably is a great segue, because we also had on a flyer civil rights versus individual rights.
Oh.
So when you think of civil rights and the 64 Civil Rights Act of 64, when they were talking about civil rights, they were talking about the black family.
Yes, they were.
The black family was considered one unit, male, female, well, the nuclear family, male, female, and their children.
Yes.
But if you read the language in the Civil Rights Bill, you could not be discriminated against based upon age, color, gender,
or
religion. So this was a planned out movement. So once,
Ralph,
Okay.
I can't let you.
All right.
I can't let you skim over that.
Okay.
Now, say that again, because I want the people to understand, because that's profound.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, things that occurred as far as history was concerned,
Yes.
people didn't understand the ramifications of it. They didn't understand
no.
the significance of it. So I need you to go back
Okay.
and talk about what you just said.
Which part? Which part you want me to expand
That
on?
last part when you talking about, which factors they couldn't discriminate against,
Yes.
but how this was done, but why it was done.
So this is in my opinion. So now, if originally the Civil Rights Act
Minister
was,
Anthony Jones, Minister, hey bro, it was good seeing you last week, man. That was a powerful event. We're going to film the next one. Anthony Jones let us know age, color, gender, religion. Absolutely.
for sure. And so when you think about that, and we're going to get to you, we're going to put that in the chat.
Yes, sir.
And so what happened was when they added those things, see, the nuclear family was about Black Americans that were here. This is what it was about.
Yes.
Well, once you added age, gender, sex, and religion. Well, wait a minute. So now you have and remember, you do math pretty good, right?
Ain't no doubt about it.
So the nuclear family was a whole.
Yes.
Even though it was the male and the female and the children, they were considered a whole.
One.
Well, now once you say, well, we're going to put in age, the kids get divided.
Now the kids,
Then when you add in sex,
damn, don't do that.
male and female.
Hold on,
So
stop, Ralph.
that's
What are we
two.
talking about? Which bill are we talking about? The Civil Rights Bill, right?
Listen, we're talking about a Civil Rights Act of 64.
Which was specifically aimed at whom? Again.
Originally, it was aimed at Black people in terms of the nuclear family.
So age. So now you're saying,
Yes.
hey, you know what, man? Kids, y'all can't be, man. Your daddy can't be just telling you what to do and whooping you.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
listen now. Gender.
Yes.
And I digress for a minute. Gorgeous Dion, you see that number, man? Come on. I see what you want to say something. Talk to us. 313-458-4445. We give us 38 seconds because here we go. Ralph, it is amazing when you look at it, man. People don't realize this. And they don't realize this was a strategy.
It was a strategy. People didn't understand it. It was a strategy that the forward-thinking elites understood.
Hold on, who are the elites, man? Because we can't.
That's a
we
whole
can't
other
just
story.
assume.
But we got to go who the president was at the time, and when they passed this bill, we talking about Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson, Texas.
And people know, if you know in history, Lyndon Baines Johnson hated.
Say it again.
Hated our people. He was really forced to put this together.
The racist bastard.
Yes, sir. And so he didn't want to do that. But let me just stay on task. So when they put those things in there, Now it went from civil rights from a whole family to individual rights.
What it became.
So then when you have gender, and now we're in the age of 2025,
Uh-oh.
they've concluded that it's more than just two genders. So
What? When that happened? What you talking
oh
about?
man, come on. It's more than one gender. So now just imagine this. Let's go back to the nuclear family. We're gonna say mom, dad.
Uh-huh.
They had 3 sons and 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Well,
8
man,
people in the house.
Well, it's 8 people, but they would have been considered 1 year.
One unit.
But now when you add in there sex,
Uh-oh.
so now there's 3 women in that group, young ladies,
Yeah.
3 males.
Yeah.
But then they add, religion.
Religion.
Well, the young lady has gone out and she has started dating somebody else.
Yeah.
So then she may have some different beliefs than the original.
Yeah, the
family.
original. Yeah, ain't no doubt.
But then
She got a Muslim.
She got a Muslim brother.
Mhm.
But then what about the gender? So then now you have all of these other things, and then sexual orientation.
Stop.
Well, you have to put in the LGBTQ because that's part of it. So now this original nuclear family,
I ain't never heard of LGBTQ when I was a kid.
yeah, of course, because it didn't exist.
Okay.
But what happened was they divided. So now this one whole group has been divided to probably about 8 to 9 more people. Because you got to think, you have the LGBT group. They're put together, but they're all separate. People don't. They're all separate. But then you have the religious groups, and then you may have the age difference.
Okay.
So now we done been reduced as a group, I think, to 1/10. At least at a time when they wrote the Constitution.
So it went
3.
from 1 because
Yeah.
1 is 1/1.
Yeah.
1 is 1/1.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying that 1/10, which is 1/10.
1/10. Yeah, I mean that's it's broken down. See, when we was 3/5 of a man,
That was bad enough.
that was bad enough.
That's 60%.
That's 60%.
Yeah.
Now we've been reduced to probably, and I'm saying 10%, but less than that. So going back to your original point, this great divide, and we're talking about coming together.
Okay.
We have to get back to one thing and one thing only: male, female. See, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Shit.
What is your sexual orientation? Doesn't make me a difference.
We ain't
Because
talking about that, y'all.
we're not talking about that. Because
Don't
if
do
you're a female or a male and you're a male and you like other men, that's what you want. That's what you like to do. That's fine. Same with the women. Whatever you decide. But regardless of what, when you look at the science behind it, not nobody personal feelings,
Okay.
you a male or female.
Or-
you have XY or XX. That's all. That's all it can be.
Okay.
Now, if we look at that and say, well, we need to just go back to the 2 things. And now we can build the group back. And then we don't have this great divide as civil rights versus individual rights, which was a hijacking of the civil rights movement.
Ralph, listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me carefully.
Now, gee, you know we got to get going because it's Thursday night football on everybody.
Yeah, we're
But the game ain't gonna be that good.
And Chauncey playing, so we got to watch it. But listen, what I'm saying, what I because this is so important to us for our futures.
Mhm.
What I do know is I watch our teenage children every single solitary day.
Teenage, that's age. Okay, said
That's
teenage. Okay, yep.
And what I've noticed is the inability for them to follow simple directions. And what I do know, and this is where we got tricked, y'all. I don't care what you say to me. This is where we got tricked. When you tell a kid, if you ask the kid, hey man, you know what you want for dinner today?
Mm-hmm.
They're typically going to choose the wrong thing. They're going to choose something that you wouldn't want them to eat if you gave them just an absolute choice.
Mm-hmm.
If you say to a kid, and we've given them too many options,
Mm-hmm.
hey man, you could do whatever it is you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it empowers them. And so now, Ralph, what you talked about though, when you talked about the 1/10, the one thing that jumped out for me
Mm-hmm.
is the Civil Rights Bill was so clever, it eliminated the leader.
Absolutely. It was all by design.
Y'all listen to me now. You listen to me carefully. And we ain't even gonna go into that yet, but the women's lib movement, we're gonna talk about that another time. But what I'm telling you is this: when you give everybody and say, you know what, we can't discriminate because of age, you can't discriminate because of gender, you can't religion. Oh my God. Now what you've done is you've allowed somebody to come into your household and take control.
Dang. They took control and they're not even in the household.
They're not even in the household. And most of the times they won't even touch your door. And what I look at when the Great Divide really started to occur is our males and our men started to feel like they were expendable.
Well, they felt like they was expendable. They didn't feel like they was expendable. The women made them feel like
well,
they were
once the
expendable.
woman makes you feel expendable, which shouldn't have been allowed. And I put Broderick Ruffin and I put Bro Broad in there, man, my main man, because he and I always talked about when Granddad went in the closet for the welfare piece and he had to hide and all of that. Do you realize how
we got a caller. Let's see.
Let's answer this.
Oh, should have.
I hung up on Dooley.
I made a mistake and hung up. So you can call back. We made a mistake and disconnected you. I think it was a 970 number. Call back in.
I think it's difficult for us because most of us haven't seen a man running a family.
Yes, sir. Here we got a caller. Here we go. Caller, you on the air. You're live, State Champions Podcast. So, caller, give us your comment.
Yo,
caller, can you hear us?
Yeah, this B Kern.
Hey, what's up, B Kern?
What up?
What's the deal, fellas? Man, I'm loving the topic tonight.
So, what's your comment on the Great Divide?
I would like to go back. I'm following y'all on the civil rights, but I would like to go back to the Depression, Great Depression.
Okay.
In the 1920s.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because black people
turn your TV
turn
down.
your TV or your phone down, B.
Oh,
that's B Kern. I thought it was D Kern at first.
And I'm saying that because black people. One second, let me turn it down.
Because we can hear that echo really, really good. We got some good equipment over here.
Yeah, we got really quick.
Okay, y'all got it down now.
Yes.
Right. I want to go back because that's such an important, especially for our people.
Yes, sir.
It's such an important time because we had came out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And they seen that hole that we had came out of.
Yep.
And they rolled it out year after year, decade after decade, until, like you said, 1964, to pull the male out, to make, the woman dependent. And then you got the white women. I guess I shouldn't say it like that.
Well,
but they hijacked the feminist movement.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right then and there, they're pulling out the balance and harmony between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yes.
And I'm saying that because when you talk about, and these are energies we're talking about, masculine and feminine.
Yes.
Of course, in life, we try to put on genders to the masculine and feminine, but those are energies that we both embody.
Yes, we both possess, for sure.
So my answer to the prompt today is, what do we need to do?
Yes.
Men need to figure out, balance their masculine and feminine, and women need to balance out their masculine and feminine, because it's too one-sided when we talk about one individual to the next individual.
Man, that's a great comment. We appreciate the comment. We're going to keep going. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So now listen, what he's talking about.
Yeah,
So me and George talked about this on another episode.
Yep.
We're talking about shared leadership.
Indeed.
And
Dr. Carl Taylor talked about
yes, and that energy is what it is. So we have to definitely have shared leadership, because we're basically coming back together.
Oh.
You was on a team, she was on a team.
Yep. Oh, separate.
Separate teams now.
Separate teams.
Was the captain was scoring
Yeah.
like a son of a gun.
She was getting 25 a
Get
night.
25. You was getting 25 a night or whatever you were getting. Well, when you come back together, in order to win the championship, somebody has to sit down and understand somebody's the lead. So I'm gonna go back to a scenario. I'm gonna use this as an example.
Yep.
I remember when LeBron James left Cleveland and he went down to Miami.
Sure did.
Him, Bosh, and Dwayne Wade originally, regardless of what people says, it was Flash team.
Yes.
But then at a time, I remember Flash
D-Wade talked about it.
And he said after he couldn't do what he could do, he then said it's LeBron's team. But in order for LeBron to come to the team and to kind of relinquish that power, whether he believed it or not, it was great for what? Miami. And they won it. And then it switched in the roles. And I just think that's a great point.
Yes.
Caller, what you're talking about, because we have to be able to have that balance and have everyone on the team understand their role. But go ahead, G.
Ralph, I think this is one of the things that we have to get to.
Okay.
And I was gonna post this last week, and it's been so dear to me. I think the one thing that we must get to, you mentioned the term ego earlier today. You only mentioned one time. And it hit me because I talked about this to myself. Your ego will allow you to watch something fail.
Yes.
As long as you don't see the other person lead it to success.
Dang. Wow.
Now, so what I'm getting at is what we've done. No,
Detroit Love Child said,
no, we ain't.
Y'all all over the place. Get to the bottom of it. What you mean? What you want? Listen, why don't you call in? Listen, you call in and you tell us what you want us to get down to.
hey, you fam, Love Child. We know Crystal, your best friend. So let's talk about it. But what we don't want to do oftentimes, and I've watched mothers, more specifically, ladies, I got to talk about it. I've watched mothers watch their children fail just so the father wouldn't be around so he could look bad.
Okay. So, G, I think this is what Detroit Love Child is talking about. She's saying, what caused the great divide, but who is the problem and how do we fix it? Is that a fair statement, Detroit Love Child?
Well, here we go. I think for us, I've always said this. I don't blame a woman for anything when it relates to the family. What I do say is our men have allowed certain things to happen. Ralph, we're a product of strong men.
Yes, sir.
It ain't, I mean, so it's no accident that we're sitting here together and we've been like this for over 41 years. What I do know, I've looked at most families and I look at it and I've seen the males drop off in every generation. Man, I sat down with a dude last week, had a business meeting, and the dude said, gee, some of our families are in 3 generations of single parents.
Oh, no, that's a fact.
What the hell? How can we succeed? And so for me, I can't blame 3 generations of mothers raising children on the woman. I don't care how bad attitude she has. My mother was a fusser. I used to look at her sometimes and think like, man, I don't know how the old dude deal with this. But he was a man. When I look at us now, I see dudes and they'll say, man, she be tripping. I'm getting the hell on. Well, not only did you get the hell on from her, you got the hell on from your children.
Yeah.
To me, that is inexcusable. So when I want to place some blame, I look at us as men and say, fellas, we have to do a better job because we are failing our community. We're failing our families at such a rate that I can't believe. And if we move like this for another 20 years, Ralph?
No, they've already said it's by 2053, we're gonna have our economic value will be pretty much at zero. Well, G, I think this is pretty much it's a study that's out there. They're talking about it. We're done. But so G, here's the real thing. So let's talk about this, because Brother Sincere, men needs to meet earlier in life instead of at 45. So I think this is the number one problem. Here's my solution to this, Detroit Love Child. Number one, we have to start teaching our young men and young women earlier to start to unify with each other so they can grow together and experience things together as young people. But we have to get back to this. And I know some people don't agree with this, but I'm going to tell you right now, we have to start getting our young people together and preaching marriage. 2, we can no longer tell our young men to get out in the public and try on as many shoes as you can. Because when you try on a lot of shoes, and y'all know what I mean, we can't say certain stuff on the air, but trying on a lot of shoes is driving your car in a lot of people's garages. Let's be politically correct.
The sexual appetite that we've taught our sons have to be changed.
Absolutely, because
we've all been guilty of it.
Oh, for sure.
We've all been guilty of it.
So what you have to do, we have to start with that. So this is why I'm pointing the finger at the male.
There you go.
To your point, it's back to the male. If we started to teach our young men that pretty much, ladies, sorry, but pretty much women, they all the same.
Oh, yeah.
And so, fellas, you don't need to try on a whole lot of shoes. You don't need to try on a whole lot of shoes, because when you try on a lot of shoes, a couple times you take a couple pair home.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple pair of those shoes dirty. And then when those shoes get dirty, you know who get them shoes they left at that girl house.
No doubt about it.
And the shoes in this scenario is a kid.
It's a child.
And so we're doing this backwards. And I think I've heard this saying a lot of times, girl, she only 19. She need to just, enjoy her life. She ain't got to, don't worry about no man until she in her 30s. Well, that's for real. That's backwards. And
indeed,
the biggest choice you will ever make in your life,
you better say it,
is picking your spouse, regardless of what. I don't care about finances. I don't care about picking a house. I don't care what you say. The biggest mistake is, if you don't understand, the biggest choice is picking your spouse. And so we have to do a better job at that. And that's why I would start with those two and creating a culture where now, instead of our kids going out and trying to figure out who they should be dating, we should start dating pools for our young men and young women. Now, white America has been doing this a long time. And some people will say, well, you fall in love who you should fall in love with. But that's not the reality, because this is the best business deal that you can put together by picking your child's mate. I'm just telling you what I think. I don't know what nobody else think, but go ahead. Go ahead, G.
Rob, roll that down, because I want to see what Rob said.
Okay, hold on.
Too, man. Rob, look at Rob.
Okay, let me see.
No, we need to stop coaching kids and start coaching the coaches. In other words, that's how I started championship culture, Rob. I wanted to talk to the adults that are really impacting the children. So for us, Rob just talked
Great
about
point.
it.
I like that, brother Rob.
Hey, but here's the thing. Rob just talked about it so in depth and so profound. I think for us, and I've only heard, and I'm gonna say this to y'all women, I've only heard women object to this because, again, y'all have had perceived power, and look at what the power has done for us. So again, I want y'all to think about this for a minute before I go back into what I'm going into. How has your money, education, and professionalism, how has it really impacted the Black family? But I'm going to go back to this, what Ralph said, though. When you look at it overall for us, we got to have a system and say, you know what? We're going to arrange some marriages.
Yeah.
And so when I mention that, I've heard more women tell me, nah, you can't do that to your daughter, because I really, if women came to me or family came to me and said, you know what, we like Jaleel, we got a girl over here and we're going to do that. Okay, cool. I don't necessarily feel like I really need to arrange marriages for my sons. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice. I ain't tripping. But for my daughter, you are truly rolling the dice. And Ralph like to roll some dice, so he understands the significance of that. I think with our daughters, You are rolling the dice if you tell her to go out and find someone. And it's difficult for them, and I'm going to tell you why. I see these young boys every day.
So, you hit the nail on the head. I love this. So, Brother Marks, you're talking about men teaching men. That's absolutely. But if we men teaching men, because they are going to impact those kids. So you're saying we can get to the kids faster. I like that. And consistently for sure. And then after a period of time, maybe 10 years, those young guys, those men that were over those young men for 10 years or whatever time, the 4 years they were, once they start to get older, we start to see this movement where our young men are looking for wives.
Yeah.
But then we can implement that into the girls basketball.
There you go.
Or any girls volleyball, because if we did this and we trained our people, man, this is some great stuff, man. Y'all jokers on to something.
Rap, hold on for a second.
Actual,
how old
okay,
was your mother when she got married? She was young.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Today's generation, I'm looking at them. 313-458-4445. Detroit Love Child. 313-458-4445. Come on, call it in now.
Oh man. So it's just different things. So when you think about it, we can have a movement, but the movement, never forget this. The movement has been hijacked.
Uh-oh. What are you talking about? I need you to elaborate.
What I mean, the movement has been hijacked because we were unified.
Okay.
So then what they've done is you can have all the money you want. We're going to give a few of you celebrities some money, but you cannot talk about a movement for your people.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to give you some executive positions, some jobs, and some contracts.
There you go.
And you only build your brand. And when you only building your brand and not an entire movement, this is why we have not unified. I'm telling you, I've seen this, and I think we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna do a short on this, at one time.
We have to,
and because everybody is building their brand, but I want to stay on task.
Yes,
because if we went to this movement and the coaches were coaching and they had that impact over the young boys, of course we're saying this, Brother Marks. I know you're saying this because a lot of the young males don't have father figures. So as coaches, you guys are the father figures at this time.
No doubt.
Well, then we're going to grow up a crop of boys who have not been infused with a movement to change the community. I'm telling you, we're on to something. And we need to do that. But the question becomes,
see, I knew
if we put something together for the black males.
Esan, what up, fam?
We talking about a real live training.
Yes.
To better the black community. Could we get?
Don't ask.
No. I know. I'm shooting for this. Can we get 100 black males to participate?
I think you could. No, there's no doubt about it. I know.
No. See, it's one thing to participate, to come, learn, and then execute, but we have to get them there first.
We got to get them there. Hey, my cousin Esan said, I want a part of this, man. Love you, boy. But this the crazy part, Rap. Rap just asked you, could we get 100 black males?
Hold on, wait, Brother Rob, hold on. Brother Rob said, I had a program called Eat at My Table. Brother Rob, where is it at? Where's it at? We need to talk more about this, Brother Rob.
Hey, Rob, me and Rob met some years back, man. That's my man. He's done so much in the community. Hell of a DJ, old school thinking dude like us, man, from our area. Rob, I'll tell you this, and we've been battling this for a long time, man. You know, we got to get some real men on board, and it's difficult when our men have been puppetized by the very people they're supposed to protect. And I think that's the hardest part about this. At some point in time, you got to be willing to say, baby, I got this. Let me handle this. And this is what's going to be best for us.
And then let me add to this. And ladies, your man can say he got this.
Yeah.
And just understand some men are not in a position like you are in terms of finances.
Yep.
But remember, I ain't no biblical scholar, don't claim to be, but they said that the woman is the helpmate. So if you have been put in this position of power and you see your man trying to make a movement and he's trying to educate and help other young black men, you should be standing behind him, pushing him in his back, cheerleading, running in the front, giving him water, wiping his face, because we need the change and we need the support from both sides.
And
from-
those
from the
beautiful women, y'all have done a great job.
Yes.
We really appreciate y'all because, again, we're not, I can guarantee you this. Rav and I can't sit here and tell you we don't love strong women. If you know our mothers, so
Mhm.
if you know anything about our mamas and the people that we kind of hang around with. But I would tell you this, and I'll tell you this now. What has to happen, Rav mentioned therapy earlier, and we got to have some real sit-down conversations, and this is where it can get started. A lot of our ladies have been so disappointed and hurt by the men in their lives, and that really has started with the daddy. And so some of the things and some of the thought processes coming from our women really deals with the fact that the father and their relationship hasn't been good. So when you talk
Absolutely.
about the divide, I try to make sure as I'm dealing with my daughter and the women around me that I make sure that they understand how much I love them. And it's difficult for our ladies to really trust us. It's difficult for our little girls. I talk to our teenage girls every day, and some of the responses that they give me about their dads it just blows my mind every single day as I talk to our baby. So again, when you talk about unification, you can't mention unification without sacrifice. And somebody has to be willing to sacrifice.
Oh,
And I do know this. Our women have always been the leaders in making sure that there's love filled around us. And ladies, if we're going to get that love back, it's going to start with you. Yep, men are the sergeant at arms. We get it. We're going to make sure that everybody's protected. We're going to make sure that everybody is safe. And there's a lot of regiment and rules in the household, and it's safe. But if we're going to get that love back like we need it, it is going to start with our queen.
no, we probably should end in a second.
Yep.
Because Thursday night football is a great conversation. But you talked about the therapy. See, that therapy piece is so needed that it will help go back to that fill that void
No doubt.
of most of our women have, which is not having that male figure in the household.
There you go.
So they have to deal with that.
Yep.
We have to deal with our issues. So it has to be individual therapy, but then it has to be
collective
group therapy.
Yes, sir.
And then, but when you in your individual therapy, there has to be a talking space
Oh,
after the sessions, maybe not originally the first day,
yeah.
but a couple days later, to process what you learn.
And people got to be transparent.
And this is key.
Yep.
If you're not transparent, if you're lying, you wasting my time. Yep. So if you're transparent about what you learned in the session, what you learned about yourself, and then what you learn about somebody, you can't throw rocks at them when you find out some of their deficiencies. This is part of hurting people.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. I think this is a start, but man, eat at my table sounds great. We have a couple guys, brother Omar Pearson, old school Finkel Ave said he would be there. Man, I think we could do this as a group and come up with a training, a conversation. Then see, you still coaching. I'm not coaching now. I'm just coaching the kids in life, but it's the same concept. Think about if we put something together, collective group.
Yes.
All the coaches in the PSL, all the men, other groups, eat at my table. Now, hey, I know everybody would have a lot to say.
Yeah, they would.
We would have to then orchestrate and organize it, because this is the key, Brother Malcolm. You say this every time. We have to organize. And organize and get us going, and started with the men. And then we know a number of women in the community that we can then start pinpointing and getting them to do the same thing on the other side. And we start this movement. I don't want to be just in here talking, man. We have to have some movement. G, get the last word, because we got to get out of here. Thursday night football going on. Is there any scores? Go ahead, G. I'm listening.
Hey, listen here. We do this to try to bring our people together.
Mhm.
We cannot continue to move as if we're separate, as if we're individuals. The one thing that I have to say, and I got to say it now, if we don't make a change right now, I don't think we realize what's really going on. As I watched these, we saw the video the other day of the young girls that were relinquished to their father, and he had been given visitation rights by the judge, and his daughter started fighting him.
Wow.
As we're looking at this right now, we need to make sure that we unify, that we sacrifice, that we cry, that we sit down and say, you know what, enough is enough. And if we don't, you know, our predecessors had the civil rights movement. That is part of their legacy. You know, whether we should have integrated or not, but that's a part of their legacy, and it's still got to be considered positive because there was work involved in that.
For sure.
My question to us, and y'all put this in the chat when we're done, what is going to be our legacy, and what is going to be our legacy to our children and our grandchildren?
Well, I can tell you right now. Okay, let's see what Detroit Love Child said. Let's read this. She said, men need to stop leaving their families, leaving their children, not going back for their kids, teach these kids how to manage their emotions, of course. So let me just say this, Detroit Love Child. One reason why most men can't teach the kids how to manage their emotions because they can't manage their own.
They can't manage their own.
See, we haven't been given the skill set. I say this all the time. When I'm talking to the young kids, I always tell them, I say the lack of emotional intelligence. Now, and please stay on because I got to tell this quick story.
Yes.
I was doing a program at a school in the city of Detroit, doing a driver's ed, and a young lady, we get to talking, and she said that she didn't rock with her dad. And she went in on about her dad. She said her and her dad got into a physical altercation. Another kid in the room indicated that he only seen his dad a couple times. So you're right in what you're saying, Detroit Love Child, about leaving their kids. But I want to address this. And because obviously I'm a dad, I told the young man and the young lady to go do some research on emotional intelligence as it related to Black men. And I told her, I said, I'm a dad. I say, I'm from the old school. My dad's emotional intelligence was, I'm going to knock you on the ground and you're going to do what I say. So then, therefore, you have to understand as a young man coming up, this is what I saw. But I said, well, I don't want to be that way. But my point in only sharing that is because if we didn't have emotional intelligence, how can we teach our kids?
Can't teach it.
It's very difficult. So this is why we're talking about bringing in the collective group, and we have to start with therapy because the therapy is the healing part and bridging us back together and say,
absolutely,
I done wrong. I left the family.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. I was chasing this tramp out in the streets. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
And I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
But well,
I got to come on.
I got to come back. Now, will you be willing to accept that man back? I don't know if most women can if they haven't gone through therapy.
Well, you know what, BK, I see you said self-love, teach more self-love. Absolutely. Hey, cuz, Jamal Woods, man, appreciate the love, man. It for us, you can verbally teach some things and you can verbally say some things. And I think the one thing that men provide, ladies, and I know a lot of y'all say, I taught him better than that, and he know better than that. Well, it's difficult to tell somebody something as opposed to showing them. When these young boys haven't seen what emotional intelligence looks like.
Absolutely.
You can talk your head off. You can say, hey, you know what? You're not supposed to do this. If your girlfriend break up with you, you're supposed to just let her go because there's going to be other buses come down. Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
If he hasn't seen his father deal with his mother and Detroit Love Child, you a fusser, you cuss your daddy out, it cuss his daddy out, and you be fussing all the time, and he didn't see his dad handle you properly by just saying, baby, come on, man. All right, I got you. If he don't see that, it is tough. And what is happening, ladies, and I'm going to leave with this, and I ain't saying nothing else tonight, it's tough for our boys because y'all have become their role models.
Wow.
I'm going to let you know this, ladies, and I've seen it so many times that it's difficult to watch. Y'all are teaching great lessons. Y'all tell them stuff. and you do. Hey, you got to get up. You got to do what you're supposed to do. Hey, boy, you're supposed to wake up on time. And then when his alarm clock go off and he don't wake up, you go in there and wake him up, and there's no punishment involved. You got to stop doing that. But the one thing that I would tell you is, y'all have become the role models for your sons. And I don't care what you tell me. The more and more he watches you engage and deal with your girlfriends and deal with everything that you're dealing with,
That's how
he's become more apt to acting
absolutely
just like you.
So I think that's about it, G. You talking about the emotional intelligence and the role model being the mom. It's tough. So then we know by nature, women are emotional creatures.
No doubt about it.
So if we hung out in the jungle, we better start acting like jungle men or we're not going to survive. So it's the same concept with young boys who's hanging out with their moms and around their mothers because dads are gone. They become, feminized to a certain degree. And so they don't, in turn, learn how to properly handle their emotions. So then when they have this encounter with a male figure who's trying to direct them and tell them to do something, it's this blow up. So it's a collective part that the mother has to play even while the dad is not there.
I ain't no doubt about it.
She has to play a collective part. So if we're going to get back together, we have to do things and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. So,
man, and she got to be in agreement.
Of course.
It's crazy, Rap. I was looking at my phone today, I promise. And I kept saying, I said, damn, October 16th. Is this somebody's birthday or something? It just kept jumping out at me.
Okay.
My son, man, the oldest boy, your nephew, Torian, just sent a text to me and just sent a text to the family. It's the 30-year anniversary of the Million Man March.
Oh, man, yep.
It is crazy that we talking about this today. Fellas, it's a day of atonement.
Man.
Get your family back together, man. And if it doesn't mean you in the household with her, that doesn't mean all is failed. Get your family back together by going in and showing your children that you love them. And it's presence over presence. You ain't got to go buy them a damn thing. Your presence with them, being around them, is much more valuable. One love to you.
The champ is here! The champ is here!